So 2017 has finally come to an end, and we are approaching a new year of 2018, which gives us an opportunity to get to talk about a lot of great movies that came out in 2017. But yet, there are also some very terrible films that came out in the year 2017, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, hi, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you guys so much for taking the time of your day to watch one of my episodes. And this is my top 10 hated films of 2017. So let's get started here, you guys. So at number 10, we have Justice League. Now, don't get me wrong here, because my list is going to be completely different from everyone else's list. A lot of people could love these movies, a lot of people can hate these movies. Me, on the other hand, I wanted to love and enjoy Justice League as much as I anticipated it to, and I ended up leaving the theater very disappointed. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some aspects to the film that were very great, like, say, for example, the actors who portrayed the characters within the movie was brilliant, spectacular, great job. But the story, the villain, the put together, all of it didn't really fit. It really didn't make any sense. It just did not put into a conclusion of saying that this is a Justice League film. I'm very flattered to having to see what happens next in some other DC films, but furthermore, Justice League is at my number 10 list for the hated films of 2017. At number 9 is Baywatch. Baywatch, it was a movie that I had a lot of fun with having to watch. I had a lot of laughs. I loved the whole storyline, but there were some aspects to the film that really didn't put me into being fully satisfied with the film. It seems like a movie that felt too rushed. It is highly better than some other films that have been put from a TV show aspect to a film movie. But otherwise, I really did enjoy this film very much. But it didn't make my top 10 favorite lists of 2017, but it became more part of my hated it list instead. I wasn't fully as satisfied as I wanted it to with this film. I did enjoy the TV shows per se, but the movie itself alone, it really didn't reach to my full satisfaction as I wanted it to. At number 8 is The Dark Tower. Now, The Dark Tower is based off of a Stephen King book. Now, I remember when I saw the previous film of a Stephen King novel, and that movie became such a huge blockbuster film that you would think that The Dark Tower, based off of a Stephen King novel, would be a huge success. But instead, it went in the opposite direction and became a film that not many viewers, including myself, really enjoyed this film. There was so much of it that didn't seem very original. It seemed like something that has been seen before and didn't have any significant importance to even being transferred into becoming a film based off of the book. If you ask me, I think that the story should have just been stuck with the book rather than having to be transferred into a movie. Not all books need to be transferred into films. There are so many books out there with many different ideas that have a bigger opportunity to become a great blockbuster, but The Dark Tower was not one of them. At number 7 is Flatliners. Now, Flatliners is a remake of the 1990s film, and I just recently saw the original, and it was an even better film than the remake. There are some films out there that do not need to be remade. If anything else, you should never mess with the original, especially when the original was such a great success. And Kiefer Sutherland returns into this as a small cameo, and we got several other newcomers into the film. I was very intrigued by the trailer. It got me pulled into wanting to watch this film. And about the first quarter of the film, it really did got me entertained, and it really pulled me into wanting to watch more of the film. But the majority of it all after that didn't seem at all interesting. It really did take me away from everything else that really pulled me into watching this film. But Flatliners, it really did go onto my list of wanting it to be a really good film of 2017, but it ended up being a huge disappointment, which is why it's on my number 7 list. So number 6 is Ghost in the Shell, and of course we have to have Scarlett Johansson starring in this, and this is based off of the Japanese anime, and they did this whole whitewash type of thing, which pretty much ruined the movie and the story. And I've never seen the anime before, but having to watch this movie alone, it really didn't pull me into anything at all. I really wanted to love and enjoy this film as much as I enjoyed the trailers and the marketings for this film. But in the end, it became another film that did not really get me. I wanted to enjoy this movie, especially having to know it's with Scarlett Johansson within the film, and she's a huge actress right now. She's been doing a lot of hard work with many different films, but this one did not really reach up to the potential that it wanted to be, especially having a star like Scarlett Johansson into the mix. So at number 5, we got Chips. Just like Baywatch, it is a movie that's based off of the TV show. This one was back in the 70s, I believe. And you know, we had Eric Estrada in it, and we got these two other guys that are portraying those characters in the TV show. And this one I hated a lot. I love the TV show, don't get me wrong, but the movie, I mean, I love Baywatch more than I do love Chips. And Chips, the movie was just terrible. I did not have any good laughs in the movie. I didn't really enjoy it. It didn't keep me entertained. I didn't have no interest with this movie at all whatsoever. Not even for when I saw the previews of this film. It didn't pull me in. The marketing was terrible. The acting is bad. The story, it just made no sense. This is a movie that was a waste of time and a waste of budget into gaining no profit at all whatsoever. So this movie, Chips, is a terrible film, and it reaches up to my number 5. But there's many more that I still have in mind that are a lot more worser than Chips. Like, for example, number 4, Fist Fight. Now, this one, I really did think that I was going to have a lot of huge laughs in this one because I saw the previews for it and it got me laughing. It got me wanting to see what this is going to be all about. And when I watched it, oh God, was it just terrible. I mean, it was just a movie that really, it made a huge slap in my face and say that this is not a good film. Nor will it be another film that I would want to watch ever again in my life. It is a terrible movie. It really brings, there's the rest of these movies that I have on this list are going to be the ones that really made me angry. And when movies make me angry, it makes me angry. I mean, like Hulk angry. And Fist Fight is one of those films. It's just a terrible film. I don't recommend for any of you guys to go out and watch it. If you have watched it, you can always leave a comment in the section below. And if you have a different opinion about it, we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards it. But otherwise, it's at my number 4 list, and I mean, if you guys have a different number, you can always tell me. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next number, guys. At number 3 is 50 Shades Darker. Oh God, man, the first film, it was a complete disaster. I mean, I just did not care for these characters, and I'm astonished to see that these filmmakers and brought in to bring in the second movie, and I know we have the third movie out coming as well. But this one, oh my God, when I first saw this movie, there are several things that were going through my mind, which is, I don't care, and how many times do you guys have to have sex in this movie? I mean, damn, man, it's just a lot of sex. And I'm like, it's freaking Twilight and porno mixed together, and you got 50 Shades. It's just a terrible film. I'm not looking forward to any more of these movies ever again. Ever, ever, ever. I don't know, this movie just really did piss me off completely. Speaking of getting pissed off, number 2 is Transformers The Last Night. Oh my God, this movie pissed me off so freaking much, a lot. I mean, this movie made no sense at all whatsoever. Optimus Prime is rarely in the movie. Even when he turns evil, it's only not even 5 minutes. of the film, and this movie is about 3 hours long, but it felt even longer. I mean, there are some several sequences within the film that seemed like it was going to be already over, but yet there's even more to come in this movie. And I'm like asking myself, does this movie even need to be this long? There are some several aspects to the film that don't even need to be in this. It makes no sense. It has no part of the story at all whatsoever. And to point it all out, there is no story to this. It is a ridiculous film. Even within 5 minutes of the film, you ask yourself, what the hell am I even watching? So this movie, the first four films, I can accept. They're okay. They're okay. I will go ahead and pass those. But the last night, I will never, ever, 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 ever allow this movie to be a great movie because it is terrible. I will admit that the last night is terrible. Terrible film at my number two. But there is one more movie that really upset at me the most in 2017. And that is at number one, The Mummy. I love Tom Cruise's work in all his films. I am always excited every single time when I watch another one of his movies. He's a brilliant actor. He does a great job. And to be honest with you, when I first saw the marketings for this film, even though it has Tom Cruise starring in it, it didn't really build any excitement in me. And it has no comparison to the 1999 version of The Mummy with Brendan Fraser and Arnold Vosloo. It has no comparisons at all whatsoever as to what I think about this film. It's supposed to be the first film of this huger world called the Dark Universe by Universal Pictures, where you have the Mummy, Frankenstein, the werewolf, so on, etc., so on and so forth. But this one being the starter film, it was just a terrible movie. I wanted to love this because, we're having a huge success right now with Marvel. We're building up with DC, and now we're doing this thing with the Dark Universe. And I really wanted this to succeed. I really, really did. But me, as a movie critic, I'd have to say that this is a terrible film. I did not have no excitement built into me at all whatsoever. There's some humor within the film that's not even humorous at all. You can see that they have some funny one-liners here and there, but other than that, the movie was just a complete disaster. I don't know what they're going to be doing further on with this universe, whether they're going to proceed with some more films or they're just going to go ahead and cut the line right here with The Mummy. So if you ask me, I would say just go ahead and cut it off, but if you guys are going to continue on with the franchise, at least put some further thought into it, put some more talented work into this, and make it the way it should be in order to proceed further with more future films and more budgeting to succeed following through. So those are my top 10 hated it films of 2017. What did you guys think? You can always leave a comment in the section down below, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards these films or any films in particular that you guys would like to discuss. I want to thank you guys for having to take the time to watch my videos. You guys are a huge inspiration to me. It's a very, very great personal hobby of mine that I love to do, and I love to talk about movies so much but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So I'm Awesome Joe, and please stay tuned very soon for I will be having an upcoming video of, since I've just reviewed my hated it films of 2017, now I've got my top 10 loved it movies of 2017. So stay tuned for that one, you guys. And I'm Awesome Joe, and continue to staying awesome. So thanks, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.